Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, I want to continue my discussion with the delusional state of mind of so many liberals in America and as well as other countries. How insanely delusional these people are. And what I want to talk about for a few minutes here is the rock and roll legend Roger Waters, one of the I think was one of the lead singers, or at least the writers, one of the lead writers of the '70s rock and roll group Pink Floyd, whom I actually really love. I love me some Pink Floyd. Okay, yes, and I want to just talk a little bit about something that he made a statement about Trump's capture of Madura. Okay, and look, these people, like I said, I really don't believe Roger Waters understands what he's really saying. But I'm going to just read a little bit of what he said about America, about Trump, about Madura, and how he's actually defending Madura and feels that America are a bunch of savages. I'm just going to read a little portion of this, and we're going to get right into our discussion because, in my opinion, clearly this man is delusional. Okay? Much as I love him, much as I love Pink Floyd, Roger Waters is, in this particular incident, I believe he's wrong. So it says, Roger Waters, far-left British musician and co-founder of the English rock group band Pink Floyd, took to social media to defend former Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Madura and bizarrely claimed that the United States is, quote, a savage empire made up of, quote, gringo bullies. Man, shut up. Here, apparently these are his words. We are all reeling, stunned by this savage act of aggression from the empire of the United States of America on our brothers and sisters and comrades in Venezuela, Waters said in a Saturday X post. We stand with you, the former Pink Floyd bassist continued, before bizarrely claiming that he speaks for, quote, probably 99% of all the people in the world. Man, if you once again, delusions of grandeur here, who he thinks, quote, would say that we deplore the United States actions in the Caribbean. Here's something else supposedly he said. For God's sake, grow up, Waters demanded of the United States. Stop behaving like moronic children in a schoolyard. He went on to say, this is our world, not yours. He added, if I was a praying man, I would be praying now for President Maduro. I'm not a praying man, he admitted, adding, but I am an active man, and I would do anything in my power to support Venezuela, which is a sovereign country and should be left alone by the gringo bullies from the north. I'll stop right there. And I think he's coming from the perspective of American imperialism. As you read further, he's probably coming from the perspective of American imperialism. Okay, the whole idea that you guys are going over there and you're taking out someone and you're bullying on them and you're taking out someone and removing them from his country, that's American imperialism. You're just big bullies. Roger Waters, as well as many other liberals here in America, are delusional. They have no clue what they're talking about. I've read quite a few stories and heard quite a few stories of people who live in Venezuela. Come on, man, let's stop playing games. The people in Venezuela and all over are rejoicing that this tyrant has been removed, regardless of what reasonings you think he should not have been removed, whether it's American imperialism and America's going after the oil and all this other rigmarole nonsense. But people appears to me to be happy about it. Now, Roger Waters, as much respect as I have of you, brother, as much as I love your band, Pink Floyd, even now I still listen to some of the Pink Floyd's songs, especially their older album, 1973's. What was the 1973's album entitled? Oh man, golly, y'all, what was the name of this 1973 album with the prism on it? With the prism, diamond prism on it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. If you're familiar with Pink Floyd, you know what I'm talking about. But it escapes my mind for whatever reason. I'm getting old, you know. Dark Side of the Moon. That's it, Dark Side of the Moon. My favorite of their albums. afterwards. But anyway, much as I admire him, much as I have respect for Roger Waters and Pink Floyd, but Roger Waters in particular here, I have to vehemently disagree with his assessment of America. Okay? Because at the end of the day, sir, at the end of the day, the removal of this tyrant, the removal of this dictator has made millions, I would say millions of Venezuelans happy. Okay? It kills me. It kills me that the only people that are Putin and snotting and farting about the removal of this man, okay, is people that are not Venezuelans. I'm pretty sure there are some Venezuelans that hate the fact that Trump and the Delta Force, with the assistance of, obviously with the assistance of the awesome and mighty Delta Force, removed this man out of. I'm pretty sure that there may be some Venezuelans that disagree with that, but I haven't seen them. Please, if anybody's liberal watching this video, which liberals tend to do for whatever reason, liberals just want to pick. I don't know why, but if you liberal and you watching this, and you just hate conservatisms and you hate Trump, please show me some videos of some Venezuelans that live there. I'm not talking about Venezuelans that live in America. I'm talking about Venezuelans that live in Venezuela, that are unhappy, that are angry over the removal of Maduro. Please tell me that, because at this point I don't see it. I don't see it. So regardless of Roger Waters' assessment, regardless of anybody else's assessment, what really matters is the people and the people that live there, and Venezuelans in general. That's what really matters. That's all that matters. Now, let's get the oil. Get that oil. Yes, get it. Get that oil. Get it. From what I'm understanding, is millions of barrels of oil that we've taken. Get it. Because we don't need China getting it. We don't need Russia getting it. Get that oil. That's the way of the world, folks. That's how politics runs. That's how nations run. It is what it is. Until we are part of that political scheme, we'll never understand the bigger picture. But when you start studying politics and start really digging in and looking at the bigger picture of how nations react to each other and respond to each other and make deals with each other and all the rest, then you kind of can get a gist of why they do the things that they do. Okay. Now, from a spiritual perspective, we are living in a downfall, in an era of fallen humanity, because sin has tainted and corrupted the hearts of humanity. And so there is no perfect nation. America isn't perfect. Russia isn't perfect. China isn't perfect. Venezuela isn't perfect. None of them are perfect. And there's going to always be some issues, wars and rumors of wars and all the rest due to the darkness of the sinful human heart. That is not going to change until people give their life over to Christ, until Christ comes back and sets up his true golden age kingdom here on earth. But that's another story, and I digress. You get my point. You're going to always have that imperfections, but we certainly don't want certain countries like China and Russia having a hedge over us, or the edge over us, or taking control of those oil fields. We don't want that. We don't want that. So American imperialism in this particular instance, I'm all for it. Because I'd rather see American imperialism rather than Russian imperialism or Chinese imperialism, China imperialism. Which one you prefer? You want American ideology? And I'm talking about true American ideologies. I'm not being placed in these countries. And I'm talking about true American ideology. I ain't talking about the LGBTQ nonsense. I ain't talking about that kind of crap, pushing that kind of crap on these countries. I'm talking about pushing freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, freedom of capital, wanting to be whatever you want to be in terms of being a business owner and not having the government control everything, freedom of speech. I'm talking about those constitutional blessings that America have being employed in these countries like Venezuela. Which would you prefer? The Western or American form of, I would say, input in these countries, or communism, which is from China, and Russia, which is just about, although they're mixing some capitalism with it. Which one? I'm just saying. So Roger Waters, I love him. You're a cool guy, bro. But here in this instance, you're wrong. And all this stuff, if I was a praying man, I'd be praying for Madura. Why? Why? Why would you pray for him, bro? Let me put it like this. Let me put it like that. I shouldn't say why. Let me put it like this. Because as a Christian, as a man of God, the Bible tells us we are to pray for those in leadership positions. But you know what the Bible talks about praying for? Praying for the salvation of the leaders. I assess that what Roger Waters is talking about is praying for him to be restored back into his country. Oh, I feel so sorry for Madura. Madura is apparently he's a beast. He certainly ain't no saint, I can tell you that. Okay. But in terms of praying for him, sir, I would say pray for his salvation. Because if he's not saved, he's going straight to hell when he die. And he's going to have to answer at the great white throne judgment. It is what it is. But once again, okay. But in terms of praying for him, okay, Mr. Waters, I think you should kind of assess that a little bit different, sir. You should be praying for his salvation. But I suspect he's talking about praying for him being restored, put back in place as president. No. Okay. But I just wanted to say that because it's kind of more on a lighter note. But at any rate, a lot of these liberals, man, are just delusional. And let me sum this up about what communism and socialism is really all about. I'm really convinced that people like Roger Waters, Rosie O'Donnell, and a lot of these other bat crazy liberals have no clue what communism and socialism is about, because they are liberals and the left are all in support of communism and socialism. That is their thing. And I am thoroughly convinced they have no clue to the true history of communism and socialism. It's not just an economic system that does not work, that has never worked and will never work. Tell the New Yorkers that, but it's too late for them now. We're going to see what happens, praying for them. But that it has led, communist regimes and socialist regimes have led, as I said before, to the death of tens of millions and even hundreds of millions of innocent people, either through starvation when it comes to the economic processes put in place, or through massacres and being gunned down and put in prison simply because they disagree with the government. They spoke out against the government, so they were thrown in jail, families split up, thrown in jail and executed sometimes. That's communism and that's socialism. You're big dummies. But a lot of these people who are for socialist regimes like Venezuela's president and all this other stuff and have no idea that they have seen a romanticized version of communism and socialism. That is not the true version of communism and socialism. Wake the heck up, Mr. Waters and all you crazy, bat crazy liberals and leftists. Wake up. Wake up, because if you end up getting what you want, you're not going to get what you want. Keep on crying and boo-hooing and rah-rah-rahing for socialism and communism. And I pray and hope that I'm going when it happens. Because it's probably going to happen. And in fact, I believe it will happen. I just hope it don't happen during my time. Because if it happens during my time, I'm going to slap every liberal in their face and say, this is what you wanted. Now you're going to get it. Just protect me and mine. I don't want to be dealing with it. I don't got nothing to do with you. Now you're going to catch hell. You wanted it, you got it. You're going to get the real deal Holyfield once it is implemented. But that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about Mr. Rogers' comments here about his support of Maduro? You think he's right? You think he's honest? You think he's sincere? He's probably sincere, but I believe he's sincerely wrong and sincerely blind. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.